来了，起来了，快起来。你看你怎么从我看6点睡到现在啊？都已经10点了。我的天，晚上怎么睡啊？跟头小猪一样。什么？又要让我读书催眠是吧？也行啊。那你就躺好了，现在正是睡觉了，还挺早的嘛，今天这么算的话。那就一样吧，读上次没有读完的，也不太可能读完了。那个看不见的城市 ，Invisible Cities。躺好了，那我开始读了。Cities and signs. 1. You walk for days among trees and among stones. Rarely does the eye light on a thing, and then only when it has recognized that thing as the sign of another thing. A print in the sand indicates the tiger's passage. A marsh announces a vein of water. The hibiscus flower, the end of winter. All the rest is silent and interchangeable. Trees and stones are only what they are. Finally, the journey leads to the city of Tamara. You penetrate it along streets, thick with signboards jutting from the walls. The eye does not see things, but images of things that mean other things. Pincers point out the tooth drawer's house, a tankard, the tavern, halberds, the barracks, scales, the grocer's. Statues and shields depict lions, dolphins, towers, stars. A sign that something, who knows what, has as its sign a lion or a dolphin or a tower or a star. Other signals warn of what is forbidden in a given place: to enter the alley with wagons, to urinate behind the kiosk, to fish with your pole from the bridge. And what is allowed: watering zebras, playing bowls, burning relatives' corpses. From the doors of the temples, the god statues are seen, each portrayed with his attributes: the cornucopia, the hourglass, the Medusa, so that the worshipper can recognize them and address his prayers correctly. If a building has no signboard or figure, its very form and the position it occupies in the city's order suffice to indicate its function. The palace, the prison, the mint, the Pythagorean school, the brothel, the wares too, which the vendors display on their stores, are valuable not in themselves, but as signs of other things. The embroidered headband stands for elegance, the gilded palanquin, power, the volumes of Averroes, learning, the ankle bracelet, voluptuousness. Your gaze scans the street as if they were written pages. The city says everything you must think, makes you repeat her discourse. And while you believe you are visiting Tamara, you're only recording the names with which she defines herself and all her parts. However, the city may really be... However the city may really be, beneath this thick coating of signs, whatever it may contain or conceal. You leave Tamara without having discovered it. Outside, the land stretches, empty, to the horizon. The sky opens with speeding clouds. In the shape that chance and wind give the clouds, you are already intent on recognizing figures. A sailing ship, a hand, an elephant. 刚刚读错了一点，睡着了吧？就听不到了。不过不要在意。Cities and Memory 4. Beyond 6 rivers and 3 mountain ranges rises Zora, a city that no one, having seen it, can forget. But not because, like other memorable cities, it leaves an unusual image in your recollection. Zora has the quality of remaining in your memory point by point, in its succession of streets, of houses along the streets, and of doors and windows in the houses, though nothing in them possesses a special beauty or rarity. Zora's secret lies in the way your gaze runs over patterns following one another, as in a musical score where not a note can be altered or displaced. The man who knows by heart how Zora is made, if he is unable to sleep at night, can imagine he is walking along the streets, and he remembers the order by which the copper clock follows the barber's striped awning, then the fountain with the 9 jets, the astronomer's glass tower, the melon vendor's kiosk, the statue of the hermit and the lion, the Turkish bath, the cafe at the corner, the alley that leads to the harbor. This city, which cannot be expunged from the mind, is like an armature, a honeycomb in whose cells each of us can place the things he wants to remember. Names of famous men, virtues, numbers, vegetables, and mineral classifications, dates of battles, constellations, parts of speech. Between each idea and each point of your itinerary and affinity or a contrast can be established, serving as an immediate aid to the memory. So the world's most learned men are those who have memorized Zora, because there's just so much to remember. But in vain I set out to visit the city, forced to remain motionless and always the same, in order to be more easily remembered. Zora has languished, disintegrated, disappeared. The earth has forgotten her. 被埋没在历史的长河中。Cities and Desires 3. Despina can be reached in 2 ways, by ship or by camel. The city displays one face to the traveler arriving over land and a different one to him who arrives at sea. When the camel driver sees, at the horizon of the tableland, the pinnacles of the skyscrapers come into view, the radar antenna, the white and red windsocks flapping, the chimneys belching smoke. He thinks of a ship. He knows it's a city, but he thinks of it as a vessel that will take him away from the desert, a windjammer about to cast off with the breeze already swelling in the sails, not yet unfurled. Or a steamboat with its boiler vibrating in the iron keel. And he thinks of all the ports, the foreign merchandise, the cranes unloads on the docks, the tavern where crews of different flag break bottles over one another's heads, the lighted ground floor windows, each with a woman combing her hair. In the coastline's haze, the sailor discerns the form of a camel's withers, an embroidered saddle with glittering fringe between two spotted humps, advancing and swaying. He knows it is a city, but he thinks of it as a camel, from whose back hangs wineskins and bags of candied fruit, date, wine, tobacco leaves, and already he sees himself at the head of a long caravan taking him away from the desert of the sea, towards oases of fresh water in the palm trees, towards palace of thick whitewashed walls, tiled courts where girls are dancing barefoot, moving their arms, half hidden by their veils and half revealed. Each city receives its form from the desert it opposes, and so the camel driver and the sailor see the spiner aboard a city between two deserts. How are you? 睡着了吗？行，已经睡着了。好，已经睡着了。睡着了就好。那